The death of a man at a hospital parking lot this week has a local woman stepping forward to share her story now. On Your Side investigator Anna Canzano joins us live. And Anna, Kathy Pribble, she and her husband went through something very similar to this.
Well, Steve, imagine getting your husband or your wife to the emergency room. They're diabetic, their sugar is plummeting, and nobody will come out to help you.
Kathy Pribble will never forget the sheer desperation she felt as she left her teenage son with her husband Joe, a diabetic, in the parking lot outside Kaiser Sunnyside Hospital's emergency room.
Ran into the emergency desk and showed my ID and said that, we needed help in our car.
Kathy couldn't believe what she heard next.
And they said, well, we can't go out and help him. You will have to call 911. And I had never heard of anything like that. And I said, you're kidding, why? And they said, well, our insurance policy is that we cannot go outside the doors and help anyone. And it was a liability issue.
A liability issue, with her husband's blood sugar dangerously low at 30 and dropping. It's why,
when I heard about the story, it really wasn't a surprise.
The death of Virgilio Marin Fuentes this week has Kathy believing something must change, that no one should be left dying in a hospital parking lot, that insurance policies should perhaps be written differently, that federal law should be followed, the federal law that says hospitals must screen and treat patients they learn about who are within 250 yards of the main buildings. In her case, she was fortunate. Joe lived. She and her son dragged him through the doors of the ER. But that feeling, that stone-cold conclusion that money mattered more than morality, is something she'll never shake.
It was very frustrating because you're so close to help and yet you can't get help.
And Joe's doing just fine now. He's actually overseas on business. But I did talk with a hospital spokesperson tonight, and they tell me that the hospital policy does essentially match that federal law now, that 250-yard rule. But that only changed within the last few months. Kathy and her husband, they had their experience here 5 years ago. Back to you.
Very interesting, Anna. What about the issue of calling for an ambulance?
Well, he says, this hospital spokesperson says that the ER's first response usually is to call 911 because in many cases the ambulance paramedics have specialized equipment that they might need to transport somebody who's in a parking lot, for example, into the hospital, and it is equipment that the ER staff may not have readily at hand.
All right, Anna Canzano, thank you very much for that. And today we learned new information about the death investigation at Portland Adventist Hospital. Portland police say no one from the staff of Adventist Medical Center physically helped their officers try to save the dying man's life. A hospital spokesperson tells us there is surveillance video showing Virgilio Marin Fuentes crashing his car in the hospital parking lot and the response. They're not releasing that video, won't tell us exactly what it shows, and police say they haven't seen it either.